Hello, everybody, welcome. Rosa Saki investigator, hello, huh. Everybody, welcome. Rosa Saki investigator. Okay, so guys, today is Sunday, May 11th. It's about 7:20 p.m. Eastern time. I hope you've had a good Saturday and Sunday. Happy Mother's Day. And so let's get started, guys. Let's get started. I know someone's gonna complain. Oh, they should put your makeup on before you start. Okay, all right. Let's do a protection. I'd like to ask for protection, a beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head. As I breathe in, I fill my lungs. As I breathe out, I create a circle. I create a circle, I step into it, I step into it. I feel protected, I feel connected. I like to ask that information come only from the highest sources, that I create the good and only good, and so it is. All right, guys. So as you know, yesterday I went on that tour. It's called Revolutionary Tours NYC, something like that. And it's this man who does, I think, 4 different types of tours, but this one was about Washington and Hamilton. And it was a walk around downtown Manhattan. And before I get into it, I'll tell you that, in fact, I know some of you may have thought that I was going to do like a psychic tour. It's not really that, at least not yet. I just wanted to get to know part of the city that I realized I didn't know anything about. So that's what happened. I did pick up some information, but not that much, but I still feel like it's just a springboard. It's a start. Okay. All right. So I think I always forget if I did. I'll do it again if I haven't done that. I'd like to ask for protection. Beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head. As I breathe in, I fill my lungs. As I breathe out, I create a circle. I create a circle, I step into it. Step into it, I feel protected. Step into it, I feel connected. I like to ask that information come only from the highest sources. Let it create the good and only the good. Good for the good people. The good for the good people. So as I was saying yesterday, I mentioned in the comments and in the 1-minute video I put out, I'm still processing the information, and it made a big impact on me. And it is shocking that, as you guys know, I like to watch a lot of documentaries, but I don't think I have nearly as much knowledge of American history as I do of other histories. Okay. All right. But what I'm going to do is I'll just go ahead and share with you different parts here and talk about it. And I'm going to do also later on a reading about, different current events, but I just want to tell you about this. Okay. Here that what I was picking up, because I feel like as I talk to you, I will get information as well. So at first we met at Bowling Green. Now Bowling Green is a subway station. That's what I knew. I honestly had never been to it's like a little park very down there at the bottom of the island, very close to Wall Street. So this was where we met up, and you can see on the left here, the photo on the left, that's the group, and here this is hard to show, but it doesn't matter. But it's just you get an idea. We met up in front of this park, and it was really nice that here, just to show you, this is this fence. So this park existed before, of course, the Declaration of Independence, and he had us touch this fence, and he said, look at how jagged it is, because before the Declaration of Independence, there were crowns symbolizing the British crown, and I think it was George III, if I recall correctly. So after the Declaration of Independence, they sewed off that, but the fence is the one thing that remains. And one thing that he said that was very touching and sad, really, is he said that New York is not a city. It's very much a city that doesn't like the past, that does not celebrate the past for the most part. It's always going forward. And he said have you noticed how hard it is to find information about this? Like it's not really celebrated. I don't think it is the role that New York had in the American Revolution. So I thought it was very touching and very true. And I've lived here for 20 years on and off, and I didn't make much of a point of looking into it. Okay. Now, when you see the image on the right, that's him with his, he pulled out. So I'll just show you this. He pulled out his own copy. I mean, a copy, right? Like of the Declaration of Independence. And it was so moving, guys, to see all of this. The way he was talking, he had this giant book with him with all the photos, the historical photos, paintings of the time to contextualize everything he was saying. I did feel that at times the tour was more like a history lecture than it was. I was expecting us to be like walking. It wasn't. It was like we go to one place, we start talking from there, and we talk a lot. He shows a lot of images from his book, a little book. And then we go to the next place. It was very helpful, but at the same time, I thought there would be more. Like it would be more of an active walk. It wasn't. Okay. It was mostly like you go to one place, he talks a lot. You go to another place, he talks a lot. So anyway, so as I was saying, it was moving. So, and the other thing that I thought, it was from my own perspective, right? Knowing the little I know about American history, he would question us like, "Oh, what do you know about the Declaration of Independence?" I don't remember exactly what his question was, but I remember I answered it. I said, "All men are created equal," because it was about Martin Luther King. I think he mentioned Martin Luther King, and I remember that from Martin Luther King. And so just to tell you how little I know, but that what I know about the Declaration of Independence comes from Luther King, from Dr. King, to tell you again the importance that he has had for civil rights, right? And it really made me think. I'm still digesting all of it because because of what they're doing, the attack on us. It's attack on democracy. It's attack on America, on the birth of America and the ideas that this country is about. Okay, so it's just sort of shocking to see when you stop and think about history on a deeper level and what is happening in relationship to history and how flexible the Declaration of Independence is, that it allowed for Dr. King to use it, right, as a kind of like a jumping point onto the civil rights era. Okay. So that's this part. Now I'm going to continue because um how to start. So I'll tell you, I'm just going to go over here again. All right. So you can see here that I'm going to show you this too. Oh, it's loud, right? Uh, this is from the recording itself. Let me move myself here to the other side. Okay. Okay. So this is inside. So you know what? Let me just. mercy. Removal of the darkness. Stars. So it's a long story to explain the little walks. That's not the point, right, of the conversation necessarily. So at some point we went to Trinity Church. Oh, you know what? No, before that, we did walk by. I did not go into inside Francis Tavern, but there it is. And then here, now I want to talk about this because it was something that I can't believe I didn't know this. It's crazy to me. So this is the New York Stock Exchange, right? And this is, and I had, guys, I had no idea how important this was to the foundation of America, because it was Alexander Hamilton who pressured the government to start uh, trading stocks, creating bonds, right? Bonds are basically um, buying government-backed securities, right? Like it's how important that was to the creation of the US. And I see when you think about that and you think about what's happening in the US, how they want to destroy the economic system. They really want to destroy the deepest foundational aspects of American culture. And that's why, in a way, America is so tied to the history of capitalism. So it was just really so interesting for me to see it. So this is Wall Street, right? That's where New York Stock Exchange is. But after that, so the last place that we went was the Trinity Church, right? The Trinity Church. And when you go in, the church itself, there's no like you can't go in from out, like directly from outside. You have to go through the little tent where they look at your bags. And because I was with the tour, that we walked into the side, but then you go through, you enter that way, and then you can look at the grave sites. And so Alexander Hamilton is buried here. This is his grave site. First Secretary of the Treasury. Hamilton founded the Bank of New York and the U.S. Mint, was one of the framers of the Constitution, and his image appears on the U.S. $10 bill. He died famously as a result of a duel with Vice President Aaron Burr in 1804. And here, now, this is the grave of Hercules Mulligan, tailor in British-occupied New York during the American Revolution. Mulligan used his position to discreetly extract intelligence from his clients, many of whom were British soldiers, which he then passed on to General George Washington. Mulligan was a member of Trinity Church and served on its vestry. So it's interesting because I did pick up from him when I was walking by. And of course, like I said, guys, I was with a tour. It wasn't the situation where I would imagine, like, I kind of bring attention to myself, like saying, like, oh, guys, I'm a psychic. Like, I would never, I wouldn't do that, of course. So I did pick up that when I was asking about, sort of like, I don't know that I had a specific question. I was just there. He did tell me that the man I picked up was one of his men. So that was really interesting. And I wanted to ask the guide to see if because at some point he showed, let's see if I can show you here. He had this, he would periodically bring up these maps that he had in his bag. So, and this was like this Battle of Brooklyn. And here at the very top is the part where we were. And I wanted to ask about the boundary between, like, where it ended. I didn't say Soho was Soho there. No, because Manhattan really was occupied by the British for the larger majority of it. So it was only at the very end that Washington went back into the city. So it was the very end of the war. So that I just thought it was really extremely fascinating. But again, I did not want to ask, and I didn't, because of course, like I said, guys, I can do the research on my own, and I should continue the research. but it was just extremely interesting. So, okay. So again, I did not pick up a ton of psychic impressions because I also did not want to do that. I wanted to learn and I didn't want to distract from the tour. Then I showed you this is so when you go into the church, I showed the video yesterday of lighting the candles. Like at first you walk around the grave sites, and then in order to exit that area, you have to go in through this little chapel. And that's where, let's see if I have it here. That's where I had it here. Okay. That's why this altar is. I see the eagle here. So that was really interesting. And I did sit there and I did pray for clarity and for all of it. So the thing that I wanted to press upon you, and I will, once I'm done with recording this video, I will import it back onto the editing program and then I'll splice it with the footage that I took. But going back here, I wanted to say that it was just a very moving tour because you start to realize how important it is that we can and we create democracy, and that it is us, the people. And guys, this feeling I was having of being there, that we should never accept anything that comes from trash, from the right wing, because it's here. I told you guys, he gave me this little book. At the end, it's the Constitution, and here, it's only keepers the people, George Washington, and here it is. I, as one of we, the people of the United States, affirm that I have read and will read our U.S. Constitution and pledge to maintain and promote its standard of liberty for myself and for my prosperity, and do hereby attest to that by my signature. So that's nice, right? So anyway, guys, so this was just a really intense experience to realizing that those people have been gaslighting us for centuries to make us think that we have no power. We have a lot of power. We do. And I really felt like when you start to hear about how many people died for this, hell no, they're not gonna get away with this. Okay. So let's see. Let's see here. Let me ask now, Mr. Hamilton. I understand you created Wall Street as we know it. You created the stock market. You created bonds. We are seeing what Trump is doing in deliberately trying to wreck the economy. Is he going to succeed? Are we going to, and if not, or how are we going to build back this country? Okay, so let's see. Okay. I see that this image of Trump trying to pull this leveler, is that right? And like to really crash the economy, and he has stopped. So how are we going to have to remove them, Rosie? How did we get to this point? Because it feels so perilous. And yet if somebody had done something before, it could have been avoided. Why wasn't it done? Interesting. Wait. It's a test on the democracy. It's a test on what is written in the books. Are they what is it? What does America mean? Is it the Constitution? Is it the American citizens? What is it? People have to take over from them. They have thought of themselves and told the world that they are better, right? This whole conversation of billionaires and such were taught that they're better, they're so successful, so important. But these are not the reasons that these are not the reasons why anyone should have power. And moreover, the orange gentleman who cosplays the king is completely, he's like, he's disrespecting what the basis of this country is about. He's no king, he'll never be king. And I see that he shows me a sword, like he's cut up. I don't think it's literal, but that's what it is. And he is saying, because I was reading, somebody has sent me a message about this whole, apparently they saw us in some channel that some people think that Trump is going to be inside, but he's saying no. No, I don't see it either. He is an American phenomena, and he's going to be dealt with in this country. Okay, that's what I got here. That's what he's saying. Okay, so Mr. Hamilton, what do you expect to happen next? There's a lot of chaos. It doesn't feel as though it will be able to keep going for much longer, this administration. Is that true? What is happening? He's showing me Trump kicking, trying to kick the doors open, try to kick it down, take it down, bring back the monarchy, kleptomonarchy. That's what he wants. Like the czars, right? The czar Putin. It's not what this country is about. Nope. Okay, seriously, he shows me Kamala riding a horse with the blue, like a blue military jacket. Let's just see 1 second. Let me see, because I see that that's right, like George Washington coming. I paused by mistake. So George Washington, uh, calvating in, is that right? Coming back to New York. Let's see. Let me go look for the image. So I wanted to share with you the images that because I saw Kamala wearing a blue jacket, and then I looked for images of George Washington also wearing this blue jacket. And this image of Washington at Verplanck's Point, New York, 1782, reviewing the French troops after the victory of Yorktown. So the Yorktown was the last battle of the Revolutionary War. Okay. So that's very interesting. And then it showed me, guys, that for the longest time, let me just show you quickly here the images where he's wearing this blue okay. Let's see. Okay, let's see here. All right, here is Washington after the Battle of Britain. But the point I wanted to make here, guys, is that I always saw Kamala wearing this blue military jacket coming into the city or into Washington in the way that Washington was depicted as coming to New York. And during that lecture, the tour guide did show us this image of him, and I'm remembering that coming to, I have to find the painting, but let's see. It was similar to this, basically. Okay, so I wanted to say this because New York was occupied by the British pretty much the whole time during the Revolutionary War, and it only stopped being occupied by the British once Washington won the Revolutionary War and came back. So I'm seeing Kamala wearing the same clothes as George Washington after he returns, in some ways representing the fact that it looks like trash and the company don't really work for American interests, right? They work for foreign interests, and they have to be removed in order for her to come back. So yes, yeah, wow. And I see George Washington himself in a bed, like it's like Is it really in his deathbed? He's saying, but he's showing me this, that he's putting like a goosebumps, like the jacket on her. Wow, was blue jacket. It's her turn to reoccupy, right, to take back America from the foreign invaders, right? Though from persons associated with the development of foreign interests. That's right. Persons representing the pillaging, is that right? Pillaging of America to benefit the foreign interests. She is the person who will bring us back from near collapse, is what I'm understanding here. So, George Washington. Okay, guys, I know it's going to sound really weird, but I'm just getting the voice that if we were or not to have fear of over. Don't be afraid. I think he had, he didn't have teeth at the end or some story like that. Rosie, don't be afraid. Lady Kamala Harris shall be the one who has chosen to be, has chosen the path forward. So, Mr. Washington, how are we going to get rid of the plague that is this trash and his people? Your trash shall remove himself from it's sweet. Okay, I'm just trying to shall remove himself from the capital. Oh, he's showing they're giving a date, right? He's taken, and they're given a date to vacate the positions that were granted to them by the work of wind machines. They were transmitted to them. It was a false wind that was transmitted to them by the work of these wind machines. I have never seen such a thing, but information travels through the wind and arrives tempered with data that reflects a falsity of outcome. So, and he's saying, that's why, Rosie, we make sure to tell you that you ought not to take it seriously because they are trying to convince the American people that they have won when most know he has not. So, okay. Okay, calm down. He's saying, calm down. Pray as you had in the Trinity Chapel and stand in the truth, that which you know to be true. Do not waste your time engaging with the fantasies vomited out by the orange men. And he's saying, shh, to sort of to say that there will be some things in motion, but they're not to be discussed publicly. And we are assisting them from the other side. I, as a general, was always quite familiar with the strategies of reconquering our territory. He's saying, Mr. Washington, will there be a battle or battles? There might be tiny battles when they are seeking the capture of the treasonous folks. So, and he shows me the light switch turning on and off. So you say, Rosie, good for you that your lenters arrived today. Make sure to leave one at your workplace in case it gets turned off, right? And he's saying, familiarize yourself with the stairs. Make sure you know where the stairs are in the landscape, in the layout of the building. because of course the elevator will not work. So, okay, so yes, thank you. Feel free to revisit American history. Those citizens, we the people, shall inherit and live out the creeds written in both the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. So, okay. Great, Rosie. Don't go to bed too late. Learn to wake up early, very early, like I did. Then you'll be much more productive. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Washington, President Washington. And he is also pointing to Obama and Biden as being, we are in capable hands before we transition to Kamala. Let's say, okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Good night. Good night. Okay. So, guys, I am going to stop here and download this and upload it to YouTube. Okay. Oh, this was an interesting conversation. And I will do another video related to what is going on right now. Okay. And the news. Okay. So thank you for watching. Bye.
Prayer and energy time. Let's use this time to send energy to people healing and going through complex health challenges. Their bodies need the energy we send them. Bo, recuperating from intestinal surgery at the Mount Sinai Hospital, battling cancer and winning. I spoke to her today and I felt her mother telling me she will survive and thrive. Cecilia, her sister, visits her daily. Cecilia is herself also battling cancer, and she's also winning. Bella is also undergoing cancer treatment. Let's envision her pain free and 100% cancer free. Treatment. Let's send Bo, Cecilia, and Bella energy. Bo, Cecilia, and Bella are fully healed, full of energy, cancer free, and proud to tell this story of great health and recovery. Okay, so just going to be silent for a bit as I send them energy right now. And I hope you do the same. And also, you can think of others that you know, your loved ones, someone that you feel may be in need of energy, and focus on them. Okay? Okay, so let's start. I'll be silent here for a little bit. Thank you again. Let's create this circle of energy around them. And so it is.